session, we will discuss about cleavage and implantation. In the previous lecture, we discussed about fertilization in humans. Human fertilization is internal, means after copulation, the sperm finds its path into the fallopian tube where egg is there, where secondary oocyte is there. The sperm fuses with the egg, leads to formation of zygote. Where is the zygote formed? The zygote is formed inside the fallopian tube. The site of fertilization is called ampulla isthmus junction, right? So now after the zygote formation, what happens is called as cleavage and implantation. So that is our today's topic in NCERT, topic number 3.5. It is cleavage and implantation. It is cleavage and implantation. Understood? Now first let us understand what is cleavage. So this is the ovary, right? Female gonad, ovary, and this is the development of the follicle. Here is secondary follicle, this is tertiary follicle, and the matured Graafian follicle. Of course, it has ruptured to release the oocyte. So what is this? This is after ovulation, this is the secondary oocyte. Release of secondary oocyte is called as ovulation. By rupturing the Graafian follicle, when we release the secondary oocyte, it is called ovulation. So by the process of ovulation, the secondary oocyte is released into the fallopian tube. Now this secondary oocyte, when it moves in the fallopian tube, when it reaches ampulla isthmus junction, there it meets the sperm. The second picture I told A is secondary oocyte. So what is A? A is secondary oocyte. The next picture is B. This is the junction, ampulla isthmus junction. At that junction, what happens? The sperm is fusing with the egg, leads to formation of zygote. So that means the B picture is zygote, which is formed after fertilization. So the zygote is formed here. Now next picture, when we see cleavage, in C what we can see is the zygote started cleaving, the zygote started dividing, okay, and it is making one cell zygote became two cells here, and those cells are called as blastomeres. So this cell we can call it as a two-celled stage. Like that, the development starts as the zygote moves in the fallopian tube itself, and the zygote ploidy will be 2n, right? What's the ploidy of the zygote? The ploidy of the zygote will be 2n. So it undergoes mitotic divisions and it's going to develop into morula, blastula, gastrula, that we are going to discuss in today's class. First of all, let us write down what is cleavage. Cleavage, it is a series of rapid mitotic divisions which are happening in the zygote. What is cleavage? So this got cleaved into two cells. By which division? Mitotic division only. So cleavage is a series of rapid mitotic divisions. What divisions are we doing? Rapid mitotic divisions of the zygote. It starts where as the zygote is moving through the fallopian tube itself, the development has started. Understood? Now, if you see here, this I told B is zygote, and what is C? C is called two-celled stage. C we can write it as two-celled stage. That means the zygote here has undergone first mitotic division. We can tell here it is the first mitotic division. It will take 24 to 30 hours after fertilization for this zygote to undergo first mitotic division. So we can write around, next point, 24 to 30 hours after fertilization, the zygote undergoes division. The zygote undergoes first mitotic division. It undergoes first mitotic division. What it is forming? It is forming a two-celled stage. Now the two cells are called as blastomeres. Mere means small. Small cells which will further make blastula are called as blastomeres. So it's two-cell stage. Each cell is called as a blastomere. And when you see carefully this cleavage here, I draw one cell slightly bigger, the other cell slightly smaller. Means it is an unequal division. If we have to talk about this division, we can tell that this division is unequal division. And the plane of division is from the animal pole to the vegetal pole. What is animal pole? So egg is eccentric, we will tell. Means in an egg, the nucleus is not at the center, is towards one side. So the nucleus is towards one side in the secondary oocyte or in the egg. So that side where the nucleus is there is called animal pole. Through that angle only the sperm also comes and fuses. So the plane of division is from animal pole to vegetal pole. So if we have to write the plane of division, the plane of division will be from animal pole to vegetal pole, right? And the cleavage is holoblastic cleavage because human eggs are microlecithal or alecithal. Yolk will not be there. Since yolk, which is a one which acts as a barrier which will not allow the cleavage to complete, since yolk is not there, we can tell the cleavage in humans is holoblastic cleavage. It is called holoblastic cleavage. Why it is holoblastic cleavage? Because no yolk. Because of no yolk, the division from that end to this end, it will continue. And again, we can use one more word here. The cleavage is indeterminate. The cleavage is, the first cleavage we are talking, it is indeterminate cleavage. What do you mean by indeterminate cleavage? The two blastomeres which are formed, so their fate is not still fixed. Means each blastomere is potent enough to make the whole embryo, the whole body, right? So that is why we tell it is indeterminate cleavage. Means the fate is not yet decided. That's how sometimes like monozygotic twins, from one zygote two twins will come, right? So it is because of this indeterminate cleavage. What do you mean by indeterminate cleavage? The fate of these two blastomeres is not yet decided. Indeterminate cleavage means the fate of blastomeres is not decided. So all this is about the first division, and I am telling that this division takes 24 to 30 hours to complete. Understood? Now we have seen the next picture that the two-celled blastomere is becoming four-celled blastomere, right? So this is the second division. This is the second division. Now in between two cells to four cells, there is a transition state also. The bigger cell will divide first and it will make a three-cell stage also, but immediately the smaller cell also will divide to make four cells. And how much time it will take for the second division means after fertilization, within 40 hours, the second fertilization will take place. So we can tell that the second division occurs within 40 hours after fertilization. The second division occurs within 40 hours of fertilization, resulting in formation of four-celled blastomere. Then afterwards we are seeing the third division occurred and four-cell blastomere became eight-celled blastomere. This is the third division where four-cell blastomere became eight-cell blastomere. One point to notice here is when the secondary oocyte is getting fertilized, it is having all the layers intact with it. Plasma membrane of the secondary oocyte is there, vitelline membrane we call it as. Zona pellucida is also there. Corona radiata is also there. Means these membranes which I drawn outer to this are zona pellucida, corona radiata are there in the fertilizing oocyte also, in the 2-cell stage also, in the 4-cell stage also, in the 8-cell stage also. All those membranes, since they are there, now this cell cannot increase in size. It remains of the same size. You can see here what dimension I maintained for B. I gave the same dimension for C. I took the same dimension for D. I took the same dimension for E. Even though the cell number is increasing, I am telling that the cell size will not increase because of the surrounding layers, zona pellucida, corona radiata. Understood? So that means here the 2 cells will be bigger. When the 2 are becoming 4, then obviously the size will become half. The size of the cell will become half. When 4 cells are becoming 8, again the cells of that will become 1/4, like that. The number of cells are increasing, means the cell size will decrease since the outer structure remains the same because of all the membranes are still intact. So D we have to write it as 4-cell blastomere stage, and E we will see. So what is D I told? So D will be formed after second division and it is called 4-celled stage. And the third division is E, it is called 8-celled stage. Now 8 to 16 celled stage is named as morula, means E and F. Together we can tell F is 16 celled stage. Now this 8 to 16 celled stage is called as morula. It is called as morula. So F is the 16 celled stage, right? Now we are telling here after second division, after 40 hours, 4-cell blastomeres are formed, and then the third division takes place around 3 days after fertilization. The third division, when it happens, then only it will become 8 cells, right? So the third division, when does it occur? It occurs within 3rd day after fertilization. Occurs 3rd day after fertilization, then it will become 8-celled stage. It becomes 8-celled blastomere stage. Then 2 cells, 4 cells, 8-cell blastomere stage is there in the fallopian tube itself. Now slowly the 8-celled morula descends down into the uterus. The 8-celled morula is descending down. It is dividing and it is descending down. It's finding its path into the womb, into the uterus, right? So next one is the next division. In the next division, it becomes 16 cells. It gets 16 cells blastomere stage. Now I told you 16-cell blastomere, where is it? It descends down from the fallopian tube into the uterus. This 8-cell is in the fallopian tube. 16-cell is in the uterus. 8 to 16 cell stage. This is called as morula. The meaning of morula is mulberry. If you have seen a mulberry fruit, how small it is. So the size of this one is of the size of the mulberry, because it has, the development has started in the fallopian tube itself, which is very narrow. Uterus has sufficient space for the development of the embryo. Since the cleavage started here itself, it's very small. The meaning of morula is like mulberry fruit. And in the morula, all the layers are intact. We can tell in morula, what are the layers? Zona pellucida, corona radiata are there. They are there. And what is morula? Morula is a solid ball. You can see here, there's no space, all the 8 cells are compactly packed. Here also you can see here, there's no space, all the cells are compactly packed. So that's why we're telling morula is a solid ball structure. It is a solid ball structure. Now in this solid ball structure, some cells are arranged peripherally, some cells are arranged inside. Peripheral cells start decreasing in their size and the inner cells start increasing in their size. So take a screenshot, then we will discuss. Right. So what did we discuss in the board? We're talking about cleavage. We told what is cleavage. Cleavage is the division, mitotic division for the zygote. So the first division takes 24 to 30 hours, the second division takes 40 hours, and the third division takes 3 days. After third division, it will become 8 cells. After fourth division, it will become 16 cells. Now this 16 cell solid ball stage is called as morula. And the first division we use some words, right? The division is unequal, I told, because one bigger cell and one smaller cell. The plane of division is from the animal pole to the vegetal pole, and the division is holoblastic. It is complete division since yolk is not there. And the division is indeterminate cleavage because the fate of these two blastomeres is not yet determined, right? And this we discussed. Now we are going to discuss about compaction process in the morula. After F, G formation should happen, right? What is G? We will discuss. Now we will tell that this morula undergoes compaction. It undergoes compaction. What do you mean by compaction? I told you the cells arranging themselves. The smaller blastomeres occupy peripheral part and the larger blastomeres occupy inner part. This is called compaction. So in compaction, we will tell that the smaller blastomeres, they occupy peripheral part, whereas the larger blastomeres, they occupy central part. This is called compaction. Then 16 cell stage will become 32 cell stage. 32 cell stage will become 64 cell stage. So the 16 cell stage will undergo one more division to make 32 cell stage. That will undergo one more division to make 64 cell stage. To make one more division, which is called as 64 cell stage. Now in these 64 cell stage, we can tell that, so here there are 64 cell stage. We can tell that the outer cells are becoming thinner and they are arranging like a peripheral layer, and these cells are called as trophoblast cells. And whereas all the inner cells are coming towards one corner, making a knob like structure, this is called inner cell mass, and this knob is called as embryonic knob. So the 16 celled morula divides and it becomes 32 cell stage, divides and it becomes 64 cell stage. In this 64 cell stage, we can tell that the peripheral cells, or we can call them as microblastomeres, are converting into, how are they converting? They are converting into trophoblast cells. They are converting into trophoblast cells, whereas the inner cells form an inner cell mass leaving a fluid filled area which is called blastocele. The inner cells form inner cell mass. If the inner cell mass is there, leaving a cavity. What is that cavity? Leaving a cavity called blastocele. It's a nutritive filled cavity. Leaving this cavity, blastocele, the inner mass cells will compact together. Now this structure is called as blastula. Now this 64 structure, which is having blastula, which is having blastocele, inner cell mass and trophoblast, is called as blastula, or you can call it as blastocyst. Means we can tell G is blastula or blastocyst. So it is 32 to 64 celled stage. And what is it called? It is called blastocyst. Now a blastocyst is formed. Now the area where inner cell mass is there, the area where inner cell mass is there, that region is called as embryonic knob. What is that side called? It is called embryonic knob. If this is an embryonic knob, the opposite end is called abembryonic knob. And the opposite end, what is it called? The opposite end is called embryonic knob. If that end where inner cell mass is there is called as embryonic knob, the opposite end is called abembryonic knob. Okay. Now next we can tell that like the trophoblast cells which are attached to the embryonic knob, means these cells, right? These cells are called as Rober's cells. The trophoblast cells which are attached to the inner cell mass are called as Rober's cells. Let us write down. The trophoblast cells which are attached, the trophoblast cells which are attached to the inner cell mass, are called, what are they called? They are called RAUBERS. They are called Rober's cells. Understood? Now, in this 64 cell stage, one more important event. We did not draw the outer layer, right? So, here we drawed an outer layer telling that corona radiata is intact, zona pellucida is intact. Here it is there. Whereas, when it came inside, you can notice that the size is also increasing. When can the size increase? When the outer layers are dissolved. When morula is transforming into blastula or blastocyst, the layers are disintegrated, right? In blastocyst, the outer zona pellucida and corona radiata disintegrate. They disintegrate, they dissolve. As they are dissolving, the size of the blastocyst increases. So, because of that, what happens? The size of blastocyst increases. It is increasing in its size. So, this we can talk about blastocyst. The next stage is, now for the blastocyst to get formed, it takes another 2 more days. So, this is 1 day, 2nd day, 3rd day, then 2 more days, 4, 5 days. After that, what happens is, now this blastocyst, after it is formed, it tries to embed into the endometrial lining of the uterus, which is called as implantation, right? So, take a screenshot, we will discuss. Yes. So, now we are talking about implantation. The blastocyst, which is having trophoblast cells and the inner cell mass. You know what is the fate of the trophoblast cells and what is the fate of the inner cell mass? The inner cell mass will form the embryo. The inner cell mass will form the embryo proper. That makes the embryo, means it forms all the systems, all the organs and all, tissues and all. What will the trophoblast cells do then? The trophoblast cells will help in nutrition. That's the first function. The trophoblast cells will make extra embryonic layers like chorion, an embryonic layer is made by trophoblast cells only. Amnion is also made up of trophoblast cells only. The connection between the mother to fetus is a placenta. Part of the placenta is by this trophoblast cells only. So, we can tell that the trophoblast cells provide nourishment to the embryo. Inner cell mass is making the embryo. Then the trophoblast cells, what do? First function, they nourish the embryo. Second function, they form extra embryonic layers. They form extra embryonic layers like, what are the layers? One is chorion, another one amnion, and it also forms a part of the placenta. It forms a trophoblast cell, helps in formation of part of the placenta. Right? So placenta, it's a connection between the mother and the fetus, is formed by the trophoblast cells only. Understood? Now we tell that now this trophoblast tries to get implanted. Now what is the process of implantation? Implantation occurs around 7th day after fertilization. It occurs after 7th day after fertilization. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or from here if you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for this much development to happen, it takes 7 days. After fertilization, it takes 7 days to get implanted. What is implantation? The blastocyst gets implanted in the endometrial lining. So during implantation, the blastocyst embeds into the endometrial lining. It embeds into the endometrial lining of the uterus. So it goes inside the endometrial lining of the uterus. The inner cell mass are getting attached to the endometrial lining. So this is called implantation. It takes 7 days for implantation, and implantation confirms pregnancy. So we can write implantation confirms pregnancy. It confirms pregnancy. So in this stage, it might stay or it might be released out. But once if implantation happens, it confirms pregnancy. Now, when it gets interdigitated, when it is sitting inside the endometrial walls, what happens is placenta should be formed now. Means there should be a establishment between the developing embryo and the maternal endometrial lining. Now this is an endometrium and this is the ball. When the ball is coming, when the embryo is coming into the endometrium will completely cover it. The endometrium will completely cover it, and both of them, they establish connections with each other. They interdigitate with each other to make a physical connection called placenta. In that placenta, half contribution is by the embryo. These are the finger-like projections which come out from the embryo, which are called chorionic villi. And this is the endometrial lining, which also interdigitates with this to make a physical connection called placenta. Understood? So now we can tell that implantation confirms pregnancy, and then the endometrial cells interdigitate. They interdigitate with the blastocyst, to form placenta. Now, what is the fetal part of the placenta and what is the maternal part of the placenta? If we see the picture, this is a blastocyst, and the projections which are coming out, okay, so these are called chorionic villi. They are called chorionic villi, and they are getting into the endometrium, right? So all this is endometrium. All this is the inner wall of the uterus, which is called endometrium. Now this part of the endometrium is in contact with the chorionic villi. So which part of the fetus, it is chorionic villi. Which part of the endometrium means this portion is called as decidua basalis. Decidua basalis is a maternal part which makes the placenta. Chorionic villi is a fetal part which makes the placenta. And what is placenta? It is a physical connection between the developing embryo and the mother, through which gases exchange will happen, nutrient transport will happen, excretory materials will be collected. Okay, so all those things, that physical connection is with this. Understood? So the decidua basalis is a maternal part. It is the maternal part which makes the placenta. Chorionic villi is a fetal part which makes the placenta. Understood? Now, this implantation confirms pregnancy and they both interdigitate. So, that's why pregnancy is confirmed. Now, there's a test to check pregnancy which is called Gravindex test. There's a test to confirm pregnancy which is called as Gravindex test. Gravid woman means pregnant woman. Now, these trophoblast cells, the trophoblast cells, after implantation, they start secreting a hormone called progesterone. The trophoblast cells, after implantation, they start secreting a hormone called human chorionic gonadotropin. They secrete a hormone called human chorionic gonadotropin. They secrete a hormone called human chorionic gonadotropin, which is required for the development of the fetus. HCG hormone is seen only in the pregnant woman. So, the pregnancy kit is used to detect the presence of HCG hormone in the urine. Excess of this HCG hormone comes out in the urine. So, what is that test called? Gravindex test. In that test, so there is a slide. In that slide, so you have an area where we have to drop the urine. So, the urine, early morning urine will be dropped here, and then it has a cassette here. In that cassette, they will tell like control and the test sample. So, in this, so with the dropper, we'll add 2, 3, 4, 5 drops of the urine. And if she is a gravid woman, when the trophoblast cells have produced progesterone, HCG hormone, that HCG hormone travels into the cassette. And in this cassette, monoclonal antibodies, HCG antibodies are fixed. If the mother is pregnant, if she has HCG, then that HCG reacts with the HCG antibodies which are present in this cassette. Antigen antibody reaction. So, they make precipitation which gives a line. So, control is for the reference, test is the sample value. So, control already it is there, if you just add water, it shows a line. So, control is for comparison. So, at the control, if one line is coming, that means there is no hormone. If that means she is negative. So, at the test also, if the line of precipitation comes, that means in her urine, HCG hormone is there. That HCG hormone reacted with the antibody which you have absorbed and it has given a line of precipitation. So, 2 lines of precipitation, pregnancy positive report. 1 line, that too at the control, indicates negative report. So, this is called as Gravindex test, which is pregnancy confirmatory test, which is used for checking the levels of HCG. HCG is a hormone only seen in pregnant women. It's seen only in pregnant women. Take a screenshot, then we will talk about gastrula formation.